I am joined right now by Jon Huertas, who is the director of Two Jacked. We are finding him on set in Los Angeles, where he's also directing a segment for This Is Us, now in its final season. So, hi, John. Nice to meet you. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Nancy. My pleasure. Glad to be here.
So, we just saw your film, Two Jacked, which I enjoy so much. Um,
Thank you.
in particular, first of all, as you know, it's very hard to direct comedy. It's very hard to make comedic films, especially short ones. What I love about Two Jack, and I hope our audience did as well, was not only the twist at the end, but sort of the twinkle in the eye um, of the main character as he is being held up at gunpoint. How do you do that as a director? How do you get him to, or was that your intent, or is that just what I saw?
I think it was a lot of it was our intent. My writing partner, I have a company, and I have a partner in the company, Kenny Stevenson, who is the star of the short film. We both come from a comedy background. We both went through the Groundlings, and he went on to go through the UCB program, and has worked with UCB for a long time. Upright Citizens Brigade, for those of you who don't know what that means. And he and I wanted to direct a short film, a series of short films, actually, three short films. And I knew that I wanted Kenny to write and star in one. And so I just came to him with this idea. And I think the twinkle in this character's eye comes from the fact that, you know, everything that David is saying in the short, a lot of that is personal to Kenny. His brothers not believing in him, never accomplishing anything, or feeling like he wasn't going to accomplish anything, and people telling him that he may never accomplish these goals that he had. He comes from a very kind of conservative background as far as his family goes, and to say I'm going to go into the arts and become a writer. I'm going to write comedy. I'm going to be an actor. They just thought that was laughable, and so he pulled from a lot of his own personal experiences to, inspire this character of David. And I think that's why we can connect to that character, and you might see that twinkle in his eye, because this character that he's trying to steal a car from is sympathetic to him, and that's all he's wanted all of his life, is for someone to be sympathetic to what he wants to do, what David wants to do.
Well, that really came through for me, and I was waiting for the twist. I knew it was going to be something, but I'm not very good at predicting endings, so it was enjoyable. So you talk in your director's statement too about wanting this to be part of a trilogy. Can you explain that to us a little bit more?
Sure. So I really like the short format in storytelling, because I think it challenges most people. How can we tell a story with a beginning, middle, and end in a short period of time? And I really like the shorter shorts, the ones that are, 15 minutes and under. I've done shorts that are, 35 minutes long. You get an opportunity to tell them a little more story, but I really like the short ones. And I think that for short films to have, and the short form content to have viability, we've got to look at ways to maybe connect them together with other stories, and you as a storyteller can connect to another storyteller in some way. And I really like the idea of having different writers write something that kind of goes together. So Kenny wrote the first film, which is called Two Jacked. I wrote the second film, which is called One of Two. And then this guy, Stephen Chang, wrote the third film, which is called Too Shallow. So they all have the word two in the title. I, you know, came up with this idea of shooting three films together, not only to experiment in that way of connecting three short stories together very subtly through text, visually, but also, I think that if I feel like economics is important in filmmaking, and so to shoot three films back to back to back with one crew was very economic for me as well, because when you're shooting a short film, normally you're paying for it out of your own pocket. And so, to not go broke and have three different full productions, a month or a couple of months apart, I just thought it was better to use one crew, swap out the cast, shoot the whole thing over 4 days, and I think get three really cool stories out of it
And what are
that
your
maybe
plans?
have some viability.
What are the plans
Oh,
for your plans for the three? Are you hoping to screen them together?
yeah, we're screening them together at the Edmonton, Alberta Film Festival this 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 month, and I think it is something that it's been pretty hard for festivals to kind of wrap their head around, the three of them being connected, because there's no way to submit to festivals with that idea in mind. So
Right.
you've got to change programmers' way of thinking, and you can only do that with a cover letter or a director's statement. And so, you know, and all three films are so different that they might not fit into what they're trying to program that year. Only one might fit, and that's what we've run into. Is that for Tribeca, they were looking for, they said they were looking for upbeat films, more something that wasn't so dark, and the other two films are tragedies. So we didn't get those two films in, so we couldn't screen them together. So we'll see what, ultimately I'll end up screening them all together, and they'll live somewhere uh, together so that you can, always find them. It'll probably be on our company's website and Vimeo and stuff like that. But, I just, stories don't have to, if you want to tell stories, you don't have to always do it in a way that has some sort of outcome that is monetary or exhibit, like an exhibition. It can just be for you and yourself and the other people, the other artists that you worked with. And that's what I think these films are for me, and my entire crew and my producers and Kenny.
So many directors use their short film as a launch for a feature from that film, but it doesn't sound like that's where you're going with this. Um,
It's not really, but I think it is, all three together are just over 40 minutes when they are all cut together and with the little bonus scene. So technically, it is a feature. It doesn't qualify as a short film anymore. So I could, see about, getting it, I don't know, hosted somewhere. I don't know.
well,
I'm not really thinking about that. So,
well, right now, This Is Us is wrapping up. Um, Future television plans? Do you want to share those with us, or do you know, or are you going to take a break and do some films?
we'll see. I think as a director, I want to really look for something to do in the independent world as a in features. I would like to direct a feature that speaks to me and that would hopefully speak to an audience. So I wouldn't be able to jump right back onto a television show. And I've been with This Is Us and then Castle before that, and then the HBO series I did, Generation Kill, before that. I've been on television straight for 15 years and without a break. And so I think it is time for a break to figure out artistically what I'd like to do. And I think, directing, I would like it to be my new job. So I think I'll look for those opportunities, as well as in other television, maybe some premium cable or streaming television. I'd like to live in that world a little bit more than the broadcast network world starting out. But we're also developing a couple of really cool series, a lot of them that speak to underserved communities. For instance, the Latinx community, obviously because of me, and the kind of stories that we haven't seen about certain types of characters. Like one's kind of semi-autobiographical about a Latino who grew up in an area of the country where he was the only Latino. The only people there were Anglo and African American, and where did this person fit? So there's that show, and then there's we have a show about people with disabilities where most of the cast, 2/3 of the cast, has to be disabled. So I want to tell stories about people we don't get to see them in the leads, and see their successes as characters in the leads of television and even film.
And the film world is really opening up to that. We screened a lot of films that showcased people with disabilities from different communities, and it's really exciting to see that. For years, we were so thrilled to see a film directed by a woman, And
Right.
now we're
Yes.
seeing women of all colors and men of all colors, and it's a really exciting time for film. Okay,
Yes.
I'm going to have to sign off here with you, but of course, I have one last question to see if we could have a spoiler. If you're going to reveal now, or you will reveal before the end of the This Is Us season, how Miguel and Rebecca got together.
I can't reveal it here, but this season it will be revealed. How's that? Is
Okay,
that?
that's perfect.
I
I
hope.
know
Yeah.
our
It's a
This
little
Is Us
workaround.
viewers will be thrilled to hear that. Jon, it's really a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to the rest of your films, your next films, your feature. You've got everybody here on your list now, so send us the notice and we'll
Uh,
pass it on.
well, thank you for having me, and thank you for screening my film. And good luck with the festival.